Hi, my name's Roddy Turner. I'm from Aurora, and I've been a member of the WCYR since 2020 and writing speculative fiction for a lot longer than that, quite a while. And I wanted, if I could, to take this opportunity to share with you some insights into how I approach writing and why it's such a passion for me. I've experimented with many different writing approaches over the years, and since I've been writing for a while, I've tried a lot of things. For instance, I've tried creating a plot outline where you have a plot all fleshed out from beginning to end. I've tried starting with an ending and working towards that. I've tried defining detailed information about my character personalities in advance and tried to stick with that. And I've tried a whole series of different points of view in my writing. And over the years, I've refined and adjusted my style to best suit my characters and have also developed my own personal style. So here's what I have discovered works best for me. And I believe that you'll find this is different for almost every writer. And it certainly is a style that is certainly not something I've come across in too many other writers. So first of all, I don't start with anything, unless it's a situation or circumstance that I've encountered. So for example, I once wrote a story that began with a young silver-haired woman standing at a bus stop, because I had actually seen such a woman at a bus stop a few days earlier. I had no idea when I began the story where the plot would take me, but I simply created the opening scene and started writing from there. This means there's no plot outline, and I have no idea what my characters are really like at the beginning. And I definitely have no idea what the ending is going to look like. But I start with that scene, that opening moment, that opening snapshot. So essentially, I'm placing a character in a situation and often giving them opening dialogue. And then I let them react. For instance, I might start with, "You can't really believe that." Somebody said this and to someone else, but until I write it, I don't know who they are or what's happening. Then I sense the outrage of the speaker and their character starts to take shape. The response words from whoever is going to respond will then begin shaping the responding character, and the story starts. And then it will unfold through the characters. So essentially, I'm going to now let the characters live their way through the situation, and the story evolves with them as they do. I'm merely an observer. I'm recording what the characters experience and telling their story. And I have the privilege of bringing their experiences to the world. Now, this works really well for speculative fiction, where you're starting with the idea that what you're going to write is not something that is normal, that will happen every day. It's something that's out of the usual course of things. It could be science fiction, but it doesn't have to be. It could be fantasy, but it doesn't have to be. The point is that there are some things that happen in the story that are different or unusual, and that are still possible. And that's why this kind of style of writing works well with that sort of genre, which is my focus. Now, I wanted to say a few things about point of view, because as with most writers, I've experimented with different points of view. So first, let's start with the omniscient author concept, which is that the author can be inside the head of any character whenever they want, and the author knows everything that's happening everywhere in the story at all times. So this is essentially the standard writing style would be what we call third person past tense. Third person meaning you're an observer from the outside, and that is, you're not inside a character's head. But with third person, you can describe things in the past tense, which essentially is something like John walked across the street to the grocery store. So walked means it's past tense. It's happened already. And John means you're observing from the outside and you're seeing John walk. So this is essentially a form of omniscient author, since the writer is able to describe the detailed feelings and reactions of any character equally well. The reader is an outside observer of an unfolding story, similar to watching a movie, and all the action is described as happening in the past. This is the point of view I used when I first started writing, but it's not my favorite anymore. The next one I tried was third person, present tense. So third person, you're still outside, you're still observing somebody. So John walks across the street. He didn't walk in the past. He is walking across the street. So John walks across the street, dodging cars as he goes. So it's similar to the other one, but now things happen in the present. They don't happen in the past. There's more immediacy in the action this way, since it's unfolding as you read it, instead of like watching a recording of what's happened before. I've written quite a bit of material with this point of view, and I do like it. But we get to the third one, which I've spent more time refining over the years, and this is the one I have come to like the best. First person, present tense. So here's an example. I move carefully across the street, weaving my way through the maze of flowing traffic. So notice the difference here. I am moving across the street. That is, as the reader, you are inside that character. In other words, essentially, the story is happening to you, and it's happening now. So this is getting away from the omniscient author, because now, although the author can write about all the characters in the story, they cannot get inside their heads because the story is in the first person. The story is about the main character, the one who's telling the story and whose eyes we see through as the writer and the reader. So it's the observations and experiences of a single character, so that the reader only learns and knows what that character experiences. In a sense, you become the character as the reader, and you live through the story as the character. It is a jarring point of view for some readers, and it does take some getting used to for both the author and the reader. But I believe it's the most authentic, since it makes you, the reader, become part of the action. It's become my favorite point of view. And it works particularly well for stories told the way I prefer to tell them, through the eyes of the characters themselves. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope you enjoy everything you experience at the Bookshelf 2021. If you want to learn more about my work, I invite you to take a look at one or more of the following links.